Have you ever sent anything off to the graders before? Well, in this video, I'm going to be sending some action figures, and also I'm going to be trying to guess what grade they get.
Hold up, 1 second. Hi you guys, it's me, Paul the Toy Scavenger, 6 months from then.
This video will be about 6 months in the making, so let's see if I can get it right.
Oh, look at me, I was so fresh-faced and full of optimism for those grades.
So let's send these off to the graders, see what they get, and I'll see you in 6 months.
This is me, 6 months from then, and I've got the items back. What we're going to do now is I'm going to try and find out and see if I was correct with those grades. So if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe so you can keep up to date with all the latest news. So I sent them off to UKG graders. Let's see what grades they got. Was I right? Was I wrong? Let's find out. So in this video, I decided to send off 4 action figures to UKG grading, and I tried to guess what grade they would be given. So for those of you that don't know what grading is when you send your item or action figures, in this case, off to a company and they give it a score of 1 to 100 depending on the condition. Now I've been doing this a very long time. I think it's probably around 10 years. I was one of the first to start sending action figures into the UKG graders, and I feel like I've gotten very good at guessing what these grades will be. Was I right and was I wrong? Let's see. So let's hop in my time machine and go back 6 months.
So here's one of the action figures I'm going to be sending. It's a Toxic Crusaders Toxie. Toxic Crusaders was made for Playmates from the early 90s. It's an amazing toy line. If you complete your Turtles collection, you kind of move on to Toxic Crusaders. So here is the card of this particular Toxie. I'm just going to see if I can get it in there. So this one is unpunched, as you can see there. If you look on the sides, there is very slight scratches. There's nothing too major. The only main problem on here is that, which has got a nice, it's got a little crease along the side on the front. You can't really see it on the back, but it is there. And then when you get your finger and you do that, it slightly lifts, but that is not too major. So this action figure, I'm expecting it to get around a 75 or an 80. I can't see it getting an 85 because of that crease, and definitely not a 90 because of the scratches on the front. There is slight yellowing on the inside, so it may get a yellow grade. The back is really nice and clear and vibrant. There's no color damage and no sun damage. There's a slight little ding on the top there, so that might mark it down a little bit. But I think for this one, I'm gonna go with my heart and say an 80. So full disclosure here on these items, I got the package back from UKG graders and my wife opened it up for me and set them aside ready for the video. I don't know what grades they got, so let's see if I was right. So here is the Toxie, ready to go. Come on, good grade. Okay, grade's usually around here somewhere. Close my eyes to have a look. Let's have a look. It got an 80, yes. I was right. So I thought it may get a 75 because of the slight little lifting on the bottom side there, but it got an 80 with a card 80, blister 80, and a figure 85. So that figure obviously helped out a little bit because he is quite mint. So that is the Toxic Crusaders Toxie, and he got an 80 overall with an 80 card, 80 blister, and an 85 figure. I'm happy with that, really happy, because I was hoping it did not get a 75. I'd have been a bit gutted on 75. 75s don't seem to sell very well. So 80s, 85s and 90s, they hold good value. If you get any of those kind of grades, they're the ones that you want to keep for the future. But I like to display things. I don't really like to display 75s. I like 90s obviously, and I like 85s, but with some things that I know are going to get a lower grade, it's got to be an 80 for me. Should we move on to the next one? So here we go, that is the first one that I'm sending. This is a classic Wolverine from the Toy Biz line. This one is, I think it's 1991. This card is perfect. It's a little bit flat, which is really good. There's a slight kind of ding there. I don't know if you can see that, a little bit of a ding there, really good. The blister hasn't got any pressing at all. The only thing that sets this one down a little bit, I don't know if you can see, but there's some tiny little specks inside. That could take the grade down slightly because that might affect the actual figure itself. The figure's arm has got a few kind of like little marks there, so that might drop the figure from a 90 to an 85. And then with the subgrades, it'll be the card and the blister. And as I can't see anything on that card, maybe a little kind of a mark there, but that'll be cleaned off. I reckon the card will get a 90, the blister will get an 85, and the figure will get an 85, bringing it down to a total of 85. I'm gonna go with 85 on that one. Now I also have a second one of these, and just so I can show you, this one that is here is a first edition, and the reason you can tell that is because of the pictures on the back, and this one is a second edition, which was 1993, and you can tell because of the back is slightly different. So this blister is really nice as well. There's a little bit of a stress line along the side there. I don't know if you can see that. Bit of a stress line that may affect the blister grade, and again a slight lifting on the side there that may affect the card. A little bit of a ding there. I can't see any creases, and also under this light as well, it really helps me trying to find any kind of damage or any kind of faults in the figure. I think the only damage in this, or anything that would drop the grade, would be the slight little ding there. Maybe the lifting hasn't caused any sort of creasing, which doesn't set the damage away. This figure's a lot better than the previous figure, so this figure could possibly get a 90, with the blister getting an 85 and the card an 85, again dropping it down to an 85. I'm gonna go with 85 overall on this one. So it's me, and I'm back in the present day after being in the past, which you just saw, and now I'm in the future, back in the past. My brain doesn't work very well with this time travel nonsense. So the next one up is this Wolverine, and it is the first edition Wolverine. Let's open it up and see what I got. Are we ready on this one? It got an 85. This one got an 85. This is the second edition Wolverine with the first card, and it got an 85. I am happy with that. I got it right. What did it get on its subgrades? It got an 85 card, a 90 blister. I thought it might have got a higher card and a lower figure. Maybe that didn't take into account. It got a 90 figure. That is good. So basically it got an 85, 90, 90. Technically your overall grade should be a 90. I'm not 100% on why that is the case. I think the card holds a lot more value in the grade than the actual figure itself. Doesn't really make too much sense to me, but I got it right. I'm happy with that one. That is a good one for me to, I'm happy with that one. That is a good grade. Buzzing, really good. So now I'm gonna open up the other Wolverine. So this is Wolverine number 2 with the second card. All right. Ready? It got an 85 as well. I said 85. I said 85, I'm happy. This one's also got an 85 card, a 90 blister, and a 95 figure. That's so strange. This one was graded straight after that one because the miscellaneous numbers are one different. So they must have graded them at exactly the same time. That one's figure was better. And in theory, that should have got like a 95 or a 90. If that got a 90 figure, this should get a 95 figure because this one is a lot better than that one. And the card on that one wasn't great on flatness, but I can't see any scuffs. Really happy with that. Again, quite happy with that. So they've put on this one the Toy Biz 36 back, and they've put on this one a Toy Biz 34 back, depending on the difference of the backs. I'm buzzing with that. Both 85s. I did say 85 for both of them. I was kind of expecting an 80 on one of them and an 85 on the other. So to get 85 on both of them, I'm very, very, very happy with that. So thank you, UKG. I'm getting quite good at this. I'm quite happy. So that's 3 out of 3. This one's a beauty. This is an Atom Bomb. WWF Hasbro. 1994. Beautiful. That is a beautiful card. And also this particular card, look how flat that is. That's perfect. And also the good thing about this is because I've got the light from the cameras filming me, that I can see not a scratch, not a mark on that. The blister itself hasn't got any dings, hasn't got any cracks or any pressing or any crease marks. It's absolutely perfect. Looking at the figure, I can't see any rubbing or any marks on the blister. That figure is perfect as well. I will be going over these just to double check before I send them because I like to see what they look like before I send them, and then when they come back, I like to double check to see that they are the same figure and they haven't been swapped. Not that they would do that, but you never know, something might go wrong. So I always kind of document it I take pictures and I sometimes do a film just to make sure that it is the right figure coming back. So this is the UK international release because it's got the sticker on the reverse on that. But on the back as well, there is not a single mark, nothing. I should be wearing gloves holding this, but it's beautiful. This is probably the best Adam Bomb I've ever seen. If this does not get a 90, there's something wrong with grading, and that's on camera. That should get a 90. If it doesn't get a 90, it's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever held a flatter card and a more perfect bubble. There is no scratches, scuffs, anything. This has been literally, it could have been from a shipper or straight from the factory and then put in a display case, and it's been held away for years. This is actually probably the first time I'm holding it as well. I've had this in a case for a few years. There's a slight tiny wave there, but that's nothing. That's perfect. I'm gonna go with my heart on this one and say a 90. I really hope it gets a 90 because I've wanted a 90 Adam Bomb in my collection for a very long time. Let's go with a 90. So it's me again, and I'm back in the present day after being in the past. Let's open up the next one. So let's see what Adam Bomb got. So here he is. I'm kind of nervous on this one. I've always wanted a 90 grade and kind of nervous. Mate, if it's lower than that, maybe I was going with my heart over my head, but let's see. Okay, so it seems to be mine because obviously it's got the sticker on the back that I did mention. Right, ready? 3, 2, 1. It got an 85 overall. I was wrong. I thought 90, got an 85. I don't understand that, to be honest. That is probably the nicest card I've ever seen. So I'm just gonna try and look at some of the flaws. What it got was a card 85, so overall 85, blister 90, figure 90, that should be a 90 overall. 2 90s against 185 equals a 90 overall. Don't get that, I really don't get that, but let's have a little look at it. So let's see if there's any marks. There's the very, 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 very small, tiny, I'm gutted. I'm a bit gutted on that, really am. Very small kind of mark ding there. I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna put it up to the camera. Down there somewhere, you can't even see it. You cannot see that. And then no dog ears. Do you know what? It's got some scratches up in the top corner. There wasn't any scratches when it went. You guys saw it on the video. You saw how perfect it was and you saw there was none. And there's a scuff by his head. There was no scuff by his head. Tiny little marks. Maybe it got damaged in the case on the way to the graders. If that is the case, it shows how important it is to pack your action figures correctly when they're going to the graders, because if you think that tiny little mark is gonna make a big difference between 90 and 85, you need to really, really pack it well. I mean, I do usually pack it well, so I'm a little bit surprised. I'm gonna check back on all my photos and all my videos and just kind of double check, make sure everything's okay. An 85 is a little slightly gutting. I'm not over the moon that it's an 85. I'm not terribly gutted that it's an 85. Only because I personally wanted a 90 in my collection. And I'm really confused by the 85, 90, 90. Same with the Wolverines, 85, 90, 90, and they all got overall 85s. I guaranteed you, 4 years ago, if you got an 85, 90, 90, it would be a 90 grade. And I bet there's a lot of people out there that have those cards. So they are slightly lower now. We don't know, we can't tell, you know. It's obviously always everybody's different opinions. We can't tell what they're actually marking or checking. I suppose you can kind of complain, but what would that do? Just a case of sending it back in. I mean, that figure's got a kind of like a little chip on his armrest there. So in theory, again, a 90 figure for that. Well, 85, I can't 100% complain because it still triples the value, which is crazy really when you think about it. Whether it will go in the collection, I don't know. I've still got to decide because I really do want that 90 figure. Yeah, little bit gutted, as you could probably tell. Very happy with Toxie, very happy with Wolverine and Wolverine. I'm happy with Adam Bomb, but I'm not over the moon, unfortunately. Well, that is it.
So guys, I actually also have other action figures at the graders at the moment, and what I'll do is when I get them back, I'll do a very similar video. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'll keep doing these. I've got, at the moment at the graders, I know I have some Aliens and I have some more Marvel figures, and I think I have some masks as well at the graders, so we'll see what they come back as. So I got 3 out of 4. It's not too bad. Like I said, I am not extremely unhappy and I'm not absolutely ecstatic. I'm in the middle zone. I mean, what do I say? Seriously, what do I say? I thought I was getting 2 85s and maybe a 75. I got an 80, so that one I'm happy on, and obviously the 90. I don't know. I'm not understanding how these grades are going at the moment. Anyway, guys, so thank you for viewing. Remember to subscribe, like, comment. Really helps with my engagement. I really do appreciate it. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all at Toy Scavenger, and you can buy the toys on thetoyscavenger.com. You can buy some merch. Don't know if you like that. My new t-shirts. I really appreciate you watching. Thanks for viewing. I'll see you soon.